Hey, good morning, gang. DoctorSax. Back more Ravendawn. I'm not going to be on for more than probably an hour. And I've got to run, get some work done, but then I will try to come back maybe this afternoon, definitely by this evening after dinner. Also, I got some real life stuff going on. I got to help out a friend's kid, I think. So there's some logistics things to be taken care of. You know how that goes. So I need a new interaction here with the bounties real quick. I'm on my main character this go around. I actually did some shenanigans last night off stream on the auction house, the marketplace, whatever you want to call it. Hey, good morning, lady. Making breakfast? Yeah, I just threw down a pork chop and egg real quick. I didn't want to get all fancy, and I didn't want the pork chops have been in the fridge for a little while longer than they probably should have been. You know how that goes, so better to cook them now. How are things? Hope things are evening out a little bit in your realm. I know it's been rough, but God is with you. Let's see here. What should I take? Bears. I'm gonna take bears. I'm gonna start taking animal bounties because I'm curious if I can get hides off these things. Wolves and bears would logically maybe mean I would get hides. And hides are a decent source of income in this game. Y'all should check out Lady Ghost. She's a Twitch streamer. She does some stuff that's a little edgier than I do, maybe, but who doesn't? I'm a bit of a Boy Scout. Well, most of the time I'm a Boy Scout anyway. We're going to head back to the capital because I think I'm going to actually... I might buy some stuff at the auction house. Let's see. Hey, Thunder. How's work going? All right, so I got out here and dug out of my bank, and I think I started out at around 35,000 last night, and I am now sitting at 80K just from doing some stuff on the auction house. So if anybody tells you you can't make money in this game when you're starting out, they're lying to you. If you're grinding, because I haven't done anything out of the ordinary, it's just like just grinding quests, doing my thing, and then stashing stuff in the bank. And now those things are worth money because all the people are crafting. And you go in here and you play a little bit of stockbroker action, and you can make some cash. Well, quite a bit of cash, actually. I think the average trade pack will bring you in maybe 10K or something. I'm not exactly sure because it jumps all over the place. But, you know, I made 50K last night in less than 15 minutes coming over here onto the auction house. So... Now, admittedly, I don't have anything else to sell right now, but hey, that's going to set me up now for getting my tier 3 gear set, which I've been holding out on, and I should be able to buy pretty much anything I want within reason. Oh, is it Valentine's Day? My least favorite holiday of all holidays, I'm pretty sure. I don't pay attention to the old Valentine's Day very often. I got nothing but memories of heartache and woe from Valentine's Day. Let's see here. But you all have fun. Make sure you get some chocolate, I guess. That's the best part, is the candy. Let's check out weapons. Daggers. Tier 3. I probably won't buy anything more than a dagger right now because, like I say, we don't have a lot of time. I should probably go kill some bears or something. Let's see what's available. Sort by price. Ice daggers, huh? Fancy. Now, what am I looking for as far as stats go? I think I'm kind of soft capping on might, so I don't need any might. vitality, dex, wisdom. Maybe a little bit of intelligence is okay once in a while, because I'm sporting a new jib as far as my spec goes currently. Getting a little more serious with trying to come up with something that'll be efficient. An efficient killer, though. Having some success with it last night. And I'll show you here in a minute. And this is a melee predominant spec too, so believe it or not. It's not a bad one. Wisdom, intelligence, vitality, impact. Wow, that's actually very good. For less than 10k. It's got a lot of what I want. Especially that impact. 2 impact on this one. Spell defense, heal power. Heal power. +2 heal power, +2 impact, +1 spell defense. Wisdom. That's actually even better, I think. It's hard to gauge. I wish there was like a point system on these things. Because I'm not exactly sure how much I should give power to these attributes over the secondary attributes. So I kind of just do it in my head a little bit. Like I give like impact, basically if I see an impact, it's a 1-to-1. But some of the stuff like heal power, spell defense, I would only give maybe 1 each. The maximum mana I don't even give it any power because I don't, like +5, what is that? Is that +5%? Is that just +5 points? If that's just points, it's nothing. I need to actually probably wiki some of that stuff or go to Reddit and educate myself a little bit, whether I like it or not. But these are the running right now, that price, but I can get crazier with the money. We're looking for quality crystals just because I assume 3 is better than 2 is better than 1. I don't know what it all entails. All right. There's haste, which isn't bad. That's 4 wisdom, 2 vitality, but it's only 2 crystals. 2 haste. No. Dex, wisdom, intelligence, haste. Not bad. Haste is actually pretty important to a melee build. Well, to any build, really. Wisdom, haste. If it doesn't even have 3 crystals, I'm not even going to look at it. Save time. Dex, intelligence, heal power. Wisdom, vitality, might. Well, already overspending on might. I could adjust my stats if needed. See, these higher cost ones aren't as good as the early ones we saw. That's what I keep stressing when you're looking at these things in the marketplace. Don't just assume that the cheaper stuff sucks. I'll be honest. Oh, there's a precision. Wisdom, might, weapon defense, heal power, precision. Frankly, none of this stuff is better than some of the stuff we saw early on. 2 impact, 2 dexterity, 3 intelligence, 1 health regen. Actually, having that extra intelligence wouldn't suck. That is 2 dex, 2 impact, but it's 20k. I'm not seeing any logic. So let's go back to there's no reason to be spending a whole bunch of money on this tier 3 stuff. Honestly. I'll out-level it before you know it anyway. Intelligence, vitality, impact. 2 impact, 2 heal power, wisdom. So it's like, let's say that's 1. The heal power is nice. We'll give that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 2, 5, 6, pretty much equal. Except this one's got better stats. The vitality, I know I'm getting points, but heal power, I'm banking on my heal power more often than not. This actually might be beneficial to me. I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'm curious at how much that heal power will actually do. I get a lot of small heals on this build so far, and if I can increase those, it might actually pay off more than getting vitality. Okay. Did I not end up buying that? Is there a bug in this game? Oh, there it is. Okay. Phew, I was sweating that for a second. There it is. I'm starting to think there's some kind of a bug in the auction house. Or if you step away while you're doing a transaction, sometimes it doesn't give you your stuff, because that has happened to me a couple times. But luckily, not this time. I do have some goodies in my backpack here. Alright, so real quick, we're going to go ahead and set up the new dagger with the old. And I'm even going to buff this one, I think. Ooh, that's way too pricey. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Let's see. Can I squeeze another point out of here without breaking the bank? What about these ancients? Not really. I could probably split these up in my... So you got to split these... It's annoying. You can't split infusions in the infusion panel. I don't know why, but that is the way of it. So, oops. Control drag. Yeah. Let's try 200 and see how painful that is. Try it again. Costs 8K. How much is that going to give me? Maximum mana +5. Wisdom +3. Attack +6. I'll end up with Wisdom 4. Max mana 20. Heal power, impact, spell defense. None of that stuff changes. Interesting. That's fine. Let's do it. Weapon matters. Okay. Suit up. They've got to do something about these windows so that they will actually pop up next to each other automatically, because it's annoying having to constantly shuffle things around in this interface. Eventually, I'm going to have to come back and buy a shield and the rest of my armor, but we're just going to go out this morning and do a little grinding. We chit-chat. Alright, where am I headed here? See if we can get some bear hides. Kataki, what's happening? It's Angerhorn is the server I'm on. I'm on the first most populated server, possibly. I don't know. Depends. I'm not sure if that's even true anymore. They're probably both heavily populated. But this is where a lot of the main Ravendawn streamers are, and this is the first server, and so I decided to go ahead and make my main on here. Why not? Even though there's no housing available. Well, there may be more housing available, I would guesstimate, in the coming week or so, because some people will kind of fall to the wayside. If you're lucky, you might score something if you're looking. I'm not sure if I even want to bother with it, but I might. just to have content, maybe, if nothing else, to have the experience. All right, bears. So I'm running Hex Blade at the moment. I don't know how common this is. I don't care because I'm still leveling up different archetypes a little bit, but I decided to throw off a couple, and now I'm experimenting here. I was already using spiritual before I switched back to witchcraft, which I have up to 24, and then over to warfare, which I a little bit less at 21 because I was leveling that up. This all came after when I was, of course, I started out with, you know, spell casting builds. And I decided I'm going to go 2 characters, and one is going to be focused on spell casting, the other one will focus on melee most of the time, and or hybrids. And so this is a hybrid build, I guess you'd call it. And these bears should be a challenge to get decent EXP while I'm doing my bounties. As I get warmed up, remember how to do this. So I've got a shield I can toss on, which is nice. That comes from Spirit. I've got dots from Witchcraft. Got a couple of nice passives set up, and I'm pretty damn tanky without having Holy or Protection. I was taking on some nasty stuff last night over at the elf camp, and I even took on one of those dropped summoning gems. Ended up dying at near the end of the phase, and I was kind of salty when I couldn't get back. And those things, for whatever reason, the devs have it set up so that those things will actually disappear after a set period of time, regardless of if anyone's interacted with them, which I do not like. So I sent in some feedback on that, because that's twice now that I've had all my EXP from trying to do one of those things disappear. Especially the second time happened when I was over on Sajeko Island. I was fighting a bunch of goblins. And those are berserkers and mechs and everything else outside that came off of one of those stones. And then there was other players running around. I actually didn't die, even though there were pops of additional goblins. So I was fighting sometimes 5 at a time. It was crazy. And I managed to pretty much survive the entire time, only to have the damn thing disappear on me right as it was about to be destructible. I was not happy, as you can imagine. I don't see any point in that. Like, just increase the timer, double it, whatever. That probably will be fine. And or wait for a human interaction with it, with a character, and just leave it there. I don't see any reason not to just leave it. I mean, it's at least the experience points won't go to waste, even if somebody else comes along and grabs it. I'd rather have somebody else get the XP than it just to disappear. It's ridiculous. Preferably, I would think that there should be some kind of a mechanic explained where some stranger can't just walk up and steal your credits. But I think that might be kind of the point. They want to have a little bit of a PvP impact back there, where if somebody does that, you're going to get ticked off and there's going to be a fight, you know. So that I don't have a real big problem with. If somebody steals it, then you can work it out between yourselves, so to speak. Yeah, I'm having no problems with hit points against these things because they're one effective level. 21 effective, they're like 18. So let's go down into the hole here. What's in here? Yeah. I wish these were a little bit higher level. But it's all good. If we get some hides, I'd be happy. We did get a hide. Okay, so bears give hides. Well, then bears and wolves are going to be in trouble because this stuff's worth some bucks. I've even got the tentacle looking at for coup de grace, big emergency heal. But the kind of the point of this build is I can hit the shields, which is on a fairly low cooldown, and I can dish out some serious damage with just basic attacks. And if he gets into trouble, he kind of goes ham with another passive, which is savagery from warfare. And if he gets below like 30%, oh wait, is that the one? Hold on, let me see, because I'm not that familiar. No, I'm thinking of bloodlust. So 30% or less health, he just starts to crit like crazy. Now, where'd you come from, Naomi? All right, I'm going back up then if you're down here. Oops, or maybe I'm lost again. It's so easy to get lost in Ravendawn, or where the stairs are. But anyway, he gets super killy when he's almost dead. Oh, it's another reason to come down to these bears. There's mines. Okay, so for you guys looking to like be gatherers, here you go, right? So, oops, didn't mean to click that. You should be looking for spots where you can mine and or gather hides. If you can double dip, then all the better. Just sell that stuff to the crafters on the auction house and he'll make a decent chunk of change without having to stress over boating and pirating and all that stuff. Just 2 cents. But I'm starting to dig this. And also I have I do have a charge on this thing. And that's mainly for PvP. To close the gap on people. Again, I'm not expecting much PvP at my level or at this point in the game, but I'm just theory crafting for the future. Yeah, I mean, I'm barely even, like, firing off power attacks. I mean, my basic attacks are doing decent damage. More than decent, actually. My health bar is barely going down against these things. Now, if I was fighting those elves, I'd be dealing with High Priestess, level 21s, and archers, and groups of 3, swordsmen of 20. So it'd be a better showcase of what this little build I'm working on can actually do, and survive. But I was actually taking on goblins that were like 4 or 5 levels. They were like orange. And I was actually tanking them, so not bad for an experimental build that I literally put together last night. Now, the real trick would be fighting PvP versus like an archer build to see what the hell I can actually do, or a caster. But mainly those archers are the ones that I'm most concerned with from what I've been seeing. They seem to be a little on the OP side of things. But I do have several different ways to heal without even, like I say, without even having to dip into protection or holy. I can heal pretty well. And actually, I was eyeballing spiritual line. I could even increase it more, I think, with this meditate, increase its effectiveness of your healing over time skills by 20%. I'm going to take a closer look at my current heals. I know at least one is going to be a heal over time. It's do believe that would be the leech. Feasting Strike is a direct heal, which is based on available ether down here in the little purple ball. Eternal Worms. Consumes 3 of your damage over time. Skills on target, dealing 50% of the remaining damage, snaring them for 1.5 seconds. Also heals you for 75% of the remaining damage, or double against players. That's another reason why this is really nice. It's great for, this would be great for PvP. Especially if I can find a way to increase the duration of that route. But let's see, the cards come into play. So I got a decent card on my... Oh, I don't even have a card on this. Where did I get this card? This is probably me not paying attention to it because I was running the other character up until yesterday for so long. Salt Dusk Ritualist. Deals 3% damage for every damage over time consumed by Eternal Worms for 8 seconds. The amount of, I guess it's attack power. I'm not sure what this little red, I think it's attack power. Stolen from the affected target cannot be bigger than 25% of your maximum. An already affected creature cannot have its attack power stolen again. Alright, so it's just a decent green card. No reason not to use it. But I think there's another card that might be even better. Let's see if it shows me. Does it show me the stats on this? No, it doesn't. All right, that's annoying. Well, anyway. Always check out all the variables, of course. But let's see, did I miss anything else in here? Did I pick anything else up while I wasn't looking? No. So I've even, right now I've got 3 abilities with no cards on it at all. So it'll just get that much more powerful. And this barrier is a big deal. Because it does have a fairly small cooldown. And it absorbs a decent chunk of damage before they even get to your base hit points. So again, he's just tanky. And he hits hard. So I'm starting to really dig this build. And I'm not even in my tier 3 yet. It's only the tier 3 dagger that I just strapped on literally in this stream a few minutes ago. So, and I'm not even, I'm holding back on grabbing some of the bounty gear because I want to make sure I'm satisfied with the might build. And so far, I am. Anyway. I'll shut up for a minute. Just kill things. And I do have my lethal edge buff for my dagger, which gives me additional 15% critical strike for 8 seconds. And I've gone full leather on this guy, so I get the additional 8%. So when I pop this, I'm at like, what, 23% to crit? And then if I go into that ham mode I was talking about, or if I get below 30%, 20% more. So if I pop everything, it's 43% chance to crit on every swing. You can see how that would be kind of brutal. Let's hope I can make it even more brutal by getting the right gear set when I buy, and I get some more buffs to impact for crit damage and for precision for crit strike chance. Hey, what's happening, Darwin? Just a short stream here this morning. At least I'm squeezing something in before I gotta run. Just testing out my build, explaining what I'm doing on this character, my main Lord Vendetta, which is, yes, for anyone that's been hearing me wax about Ultima Online, it is an homage to my old tank mage It was either at one time or another a Great Lord or a Dreadlord. Probably a Dreadlord, to be honest, far more often than not. Because that's just because the system was so broken. Didn't mean I was a bad guy more often. I was definitely a good guy 90% of the time. But, I walked on the dark side for a short period. Until they ironed out. Well, basically, it was just because word of mouth mattered in the game. And once it got around that the rep system was all broken, people started to realize, okay, wait a minute, we can't go by red or blue anymore. We got to go by actual in-game reputation more often than not. Because you had, who was it? Great Lord Dr. Death running around, I think, who was an absolute scumbag, psychopath, who I think they basically account shared. And I remember running into, I think the one that I ran into that was the worst was a teenager. I think this kid was probably like 15 or 16 years old, and he was the most evil person I've ever run into in a game, I think. Unreal. I wonder where he ended up in real life. Took his PKing a little too seriously. Yeah, I mean, this has got all the tools. Everybody's running in my bear cave, but I don't care about that right now. I don't have enough time to be worrying about mining nodes and stuff and competing with players, so I can have it, I guess. I'm more worried about just collecting EXP and some hides. City of Villains. You know, I played that City of Heroes for the first time ever a couple weeks ago offline. Or off stream, I should say. Because they've got a private server has that official contract now with the publishers or whatever. So if you want to go back and play that game, you can for free. Well, that's right. I even got this goofy cyclone ability that I don't even want to use most of the time, but it's there. Because it's the first one in the spirit string. Hey, Bez, what's happening? City of Villains, I guess, came after City of Heroes, and they put in the PvP between... Isn't that what that was all about? Yeah, Diamond's got that. Anyway, I don't know if the City of Villains mechanics are in the private server, but I imagine they probably are. Yeah, my hit point bar is barely even dropping. I love it. And if it does drop enough, I've got this Feasting Strike for a nice, tasty kill shot and heal. And or I can use my tentacles, the Eternal Worms. And I've always got this barrier on a 15-second cooldown. And the dots heal me too. So I'm just getting all the love here. Even got a little heal buff on this dagger I just got. You were shocked by that move by NCSoft? I don't know. I mean, like, it seems like a smart move when you think about it, because what else was it doing? They may have an ulterior motive. They might actually be working on a sequel to City of Heroes, and this is just free advertising. And when that releases, then they're just going to pull all the fan base off the private server to the new game. I wouldn't be any surprised. That would be a tactic. That would make perfect sense from a corporate standpoint. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, anybody care to make a bet that I'm right? It actually makes a little too much sense. I have a feeling that's exactly what is going to happen. They're just building up a nice little niche free advertisement base right there. And they're probably cooking up a game as we speak. Oh, here we go. 2 of these guys. It's going to be a little more of a challenge. See how long I can deal with them. Yeah, my health bar not even moving. Wow. Two level 18 bears. I could have had a sip of coffee right there, not even blinked. Well, they definitely got a lot of goodwill out of the deal for sure, yeah. Now, I was looking around for Ultima Online stuff to watch, and I don't see any classic Ultima Online stuff anywhere. So I'm guessing maybe the official stuff doesn't even exist anymore. Does anybody know? This one's down here looking for mining nodes, probably. Let's see what level this character is. Effective level 26, legacy 35. So yeah, about 5 higher. So 8 levels higher than me in legacy. And about 5 levels higher in effective. Yeah, but nobody's streaming it, which is a big problem for the official UO. So they must not care about advertisement, because most people don't even know they exist unless they're in that little sphere. Oh, I found a mine. Oops. Oops. Yeah, I'm reading and trying to do this at the same time. It's a bad idea. Oh, so you checked into that? Yeah, well, that's the thing. They've gone way too PvE over the years, and that's why they chased away a huge portion of the fan base. And of course, the PvEers used to always say, we're the majority. We're all that matters. We're the vast majority of the player base. And that was all never proven, of course, ever. It's a bunch of soy boys who want to be taken so seriously they have to assume that they're the majority all the time, that kind of mentality. And that, maybe that was the beginning of the whole wokosphere, was Ultima Online. Who knows? The crybaby Care Bears from Ultima Online evolved into the parents of the next generation of woke masters. That might be there might be some truth to that. Well, there's all the private stuff is PvP centered, but it's also like Outlands is the one that I see stream the most, and it's very different from classic Ultima, and there's a lot of different UI elements, and there's a lot of different tools involved, and homebrew rule sets and all kinds of stuff that, frankly, I look at it, my eyes roll back in my head. I'm like, oh man, whatever. I'm not interested in that. I ain't got no time for that. I got other games to play. I can't get in there and become like full-time alternate world UO player just to get sweaty and try to deal with guys who are stealthing around in dungeons, murdering people all the time. I mean, that's what this one guy, that's all he does. His bread and butter is just basically stealthing around, jumping people. He's rich, and he's just basically, these guys are hoarders. You look at their houses and they're just loaded to the gill. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you don't have enough stuff yet? Why don't you do something different in the game? Why are you constantly doing the same thing over and over and over and over? Well, it's for content, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Outlands is pretty much... I looked at the streams yesterday, and I would say 80% of the UO streams that I came across were Outlands. Now, thankfully, not everybody was doing the same stuff that that one dude was doing. There were people running around using Bard and using plate armor builds and trying to be great lords and not being, you know, uber douchebags or anything. But... you got wrecked and robbed a lot across many games. Felt great when you turn the tables. Yeah. Well, that was the, yeah, kind of the point, right? You take your lumps, but then you dish out some lumps. And it's that fear factor that made things spicy and made things like, you know, if you got your heart rate going a little bit, made the game exciting. And if you got back to the city by the skin of your teeth while 3 or 4, you know, members of the inner circle were chasing you, you know, even better. Or if you were like me, you fought the guildmaster of the inner circle to a standstill, and he had to run and get a friend from IRC to come help him stay alive, and then they end up offering you a membership in the guild because you showed your mettle so much, I guess. And then I basically gave him the big F you, I ain't ever joining you guys. Classic. Baba Monkey. Baba Monkey, Morbius. Trying to think of some of the other infamous names of those guys. Anyway, anybody that was on Atlantic would remember the name Baba Monkey, because those guys were murdering everybody. They were alpha testers who basically killed everybody at the outset of the game. And that's my alarm going off. I got about 15 more minutes here. So far, very pleased with this little build. But like I say, until I actually get to use it against a player, I won't know for sure if I love it or not. Fairly into it still. I mean, effective level 21, I think. So yeah, got a ways to go here. Make it even more powerful. Or find out that it has specific weaknesses that could be exploited. I don't know. I probably should work my way out of here, actually. Although I could always teleport home. Not a big deal. I'll just teleport out. Galaxies has the best potential of the private server types. Well, that's good. That seems to be the one you're most interested in. And I would actually like to try Galaxy sometime. Never did get a chance to play it back in the day. There's a miner up there. This is weird. A little overlook. Nothing. There's a secret door around here. You worried it's a bit too big for the player base it has? Well, they probably just need to, you know, I don't know how long that private server's been up, but word of mouth just needs to still circulate, and they'll probably wax and wane a little bit in their player base, which is kind of natural for those private servers. As long as they get enough donations, they should be fine. And then they'll probably end up getting more people in. Especially, I mean, God forbid, if we end up getting hit with another scamdemic or something. Sophia Magdalena. Tapping all the stones down here while I'm killing the bears. I've almost got this bounty done already. I don't think I'll be able to finish it before I gotta run, but getting more than 2/3 of it out of the way. Full health bar. Charge. Another miner. Looks like I'm down here with some Brazilians by the names I'm seeing. Time of day. Basically have jobs. Yeah, that was always what I've heard. Basically, similar to how Ultima Online worked, you could do what you wanted to do as far as your role, but even to a greater extent. If you just want to be somebody that dances around in katinas and gets tipped money, then if that's your jam, you can do it. You can roleplay pretty much anything. You could be just a merchant. You could be somebody who's seeking out being a Jedi, a bounty hunter, smuggler, or anything. I don't know how dated the engine is by this point, but I'm assuming it's fairly dated. Did they enhance any of the game itself and the private server? Like, have they updated any of the UI elements or anything? Carnival today, so it's a holiday. Ah, okay. So I'll be seeing a lot of you boys and girls. Okay, cool, cool. Doesn't look that bad, actually. Like, it's not exactly great looking, but everything is clear. Hey, just like anything, I mean, if the gameplay is fun, you can overlook what's on the outside. See stuff and you understand what it is, and there you go. Good enough. Not really getting a good example of a charge off in here because it's so shadowy, but nice having a charge. First time I've run build with this bull rush. Oh, I actually got a mine node. More stuff for me to sell later today when I go to buy the rest of my tier 3. Oops. I don't even have to get out of the way of these charges. Oh, 2 of them. Oh, dot both of them. I got a full bubble. Big hit. I didn't have him dotted. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that shield slam that lowers their armor class. I mainly save that stuff for emergencies. Game could easily have utility skills for flavor. Like you say, light is a problem, but you could have a few ways to make it light in further distance. You could throw a torch. Yeah, I agree. They probably don't have a very large development team at all, I would imagine, in this game. And the base mechanic that is drawing people to keep playing and that they're enjoying is under the hood, because there's a lot to be enhanced in this little retro looking game as far as graphics and quality of life and sound, especially, that is not being addressed rapidly. They say this has been in development for 5 years, and I'm kind of just scratching my head. I mean honestly, just as a hobbyist, I could come in and enhance the audio in this game in a matter of a month. It would blow people's minds, probably. All I have to get access to is the one software engineer who can paste stuff in where I would like it to be, and I create these little sounds, and everything would be a lot more immersive. Because, I mean, the game doesn't have to enhance its visual look, but just with just some better sounds and more of them in key little spots, it would be so much an entertaining game. That's just one facet that I always notice. No, I didn't say I can't do software. I'm not a software engineer. I can do anything, really, if I put my mind to it, but except for math. But why bother when you've got software engineers? That's their job. My job is be working with the software engineer. That's how it works. So speeds up the process. They already know the proprietary software, as opposed to having to train somebody in how the software works. You just get a sound engineer to come in, somebody like me, and then presto, you got way better sound in the game in a matter of days. It's probably a budgetary thing with them, I guess, or they're not really thinking about it. Also, a lot of people don't think about audio as much as they should. Like the music soundtrack in this game almost sounds like it's AI created. No offense to the composer if there is one, but it's just not my cup of tea. And I think that needs addressing. I think the game deserves a far better music soundtrack. Sometimes projects and software become unmaintainable messes, that sort of work, if you don't touch the code too much. That is true. I know that firsthand experience. I was a quality assurance engineer and chief technical trainer for my company back before they let me go. And I remember having to deal with layer upon layer of old code and having to teach people how the interface worked and scoot around a bunch of broken crap that had been sitting there lingering under the hood for I don't even know how many years. It's like, oh my goodness. Nodes up in here? No. It's down here. Well, you don't notice the sounds because there are none. Like sounds you're hearing right now. Those are mine. I just turned them off. So for instance, when you go near a body of water in this game, there's no water sound except maybe on the beach side, but there's no water in waterfalls or no water in lakes or brooks. There's barely any ambient wildlife, etc. Like stuff that should be easily put into the game. As I'm saying, down the road, hopefully they do. It would add a lot of atmosphere, and then get a better, get a better composer to put better music in. Like right now, we're listening to a track from Ultima Online. Ultima Online had some of the most beautiful tunes in the history of MMOs on a level with World of Warcraft. It was all MIDI files, and these are enhanced MIDIs that we're listening to, but it's still the same tracks, the identical tracks from the classic era of Ultima Online, and they stand the test of time because the composer was just excellent. And it adds atmosphere, and each one had a theme. It was like basically like the same way you would theme something in Star Wars or, Harry Potter. Like every character or town or whatever has its own special theme. So when you're in that area, that thing pops off. Those are the things that really need to pop out. The same thing with World of Warcraft. Fantastic composition of World of Warcraft. You always know what part of the world you're in just from the music. Oh, you're one of those guys that turns off the music in games. Well, see, I'm preaching to the wrong crowd right now. No wonder. I'm an audiophile, so obviously it matters to me, but everybody's different. Honestly, this spell, I don't even... What good is it? I think maybe the card I have on this Cyclone is just trash. I should just get rid of the card. Ironforge, yeah, right? Isn't that the truth? Everybody can remember the first time they walked into Ironforge or into pretty much any of the capital cities in World of Warcraft, just because it's like the soundtrack was just so epic. course, that was a big deal for me because I was in the closed beta and I played a dwarf. So my first experience in World of Warcraft was as a dwarf. So the first capital city I actually ever walked into was Ironforge. And it was just like, wow. I mean, we'd never experienced an MMO thing like that before with the flowing lava flows into the smithies and everything. It was like walking into Tolkien or something. I loved it. The music was great. Of course, the moment for me that I knew we were not in Kansas anymore was infamous in my guild when we were running around on our dwarves, and I freaked out. I was like, guys, and they're like, what? I'm like, we're leaving footprints in the snow. They were like, they started laughing. I'm like, you don't understand. This game is amazing. I was freaking out. Like, I'd never seen footprints in the snow in a video game before. I was like, okay, wait a minute. They got this in an MMO? I was like, this is the greatest MMO of all time. I'll tell you all right now. It's like, I guarantee you this game is going to go down in history. And lo and behold, all because I saw footprints in the snow. Hilarious. Yeah, tiny things like that really do matter. And it's the thing is, like, I can't convey this enough to MMO designers. You really do need to take a lot of cues from the guys who worked on the original classic World of Warcraft, because there were so many little things like that that they paid attention to that just kind of seep into your subconscious is the reason that that game was so madly successful. Most people aren't even conscious of the reasons they love the game, but things like the music, footprints in the snow or in the sand, tavern music, atmosphere, ambient sounds, the creepiness element of certain zones. I mean, all those things were crafted so expertly, man, that's what made people fall in love with it. And of course, the lore and the storyline was already there from the previous Warcraft games, and I'd played all those before because I was a big Blizzard fan before I wasn't. Of course, now I notoriously have no respect or love for Blizzard for many reasons, but I don't wish them any ill, but I don't pay to play their games. I can avoid it. All right. It is 11:05. I've got to start wrapping this up. I think let me find a safe spot to get out of here. Get one more bear, I think. And we can continue this later this evening or this afternoon, depending on what my real life schedule does today. Just a little bit in the... Oh, wait, there's a stone here that needs tapping. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Hope you Brazilians have a fun time in Carnival, and I will be back before you know it. Hold on, am I getting extra taps out of this? And you have a good day, lady. Hopefully if you stream, have a great stream later today too. What's that, Bloody? Did you hear about the Blizzard employee stealing breast milk from coworkers? Yeah, I think that's pretty much a lot of us heard through the Asmongold channel. A lot of creepy stuff going on at Blizzard, but there's a lot of goofy employees that have always worked at Blizzard. Just people are now catching up to guys like me. I'll get into that story one of these days. I got banned by Blizzard in the very first blanket permaban wave, and they banned my main account, my closed beta original account, and my horde warlord character, the best feral druid who ever played the game, and they just gave me a copy pasta. Oh, no, this is the decision. I'm like, what did I do? Oh, sorry, we know what you did, but we can't tell you. And I was like, are you for real? So a guy who supported them when they weren't even called Blizzard, who bought their 2D games out of computer stores, supported this company all the way. That's how I got treated, because they hired guys out of Austin, Texas, from college to be their game masters, and they just basically let these guys do copy pasta bannings. And to this day, there was a big scandal that just was talked about yesterday on Asmongold's about the same kind of behavior where they're literally banning people left and right falsely because they're getting mass flagged or something by other players, or they're being sent gold. They're being sent illegal gold through the mail, and if you take it out of your mailbox, that's enough reason for you to get banned, even though you don't even know what the gold is or where it originated from. You didn't do anything wrong. So Blizzard hasn't changed. It's just a corporation that doesn't care about the player. And I also, the last thing I'll say before I go, I'm very confident that in the first major permaban wave, they knew damn well that if they banned hundreds of players in that first wave, 99% of those players were going to buy accounts again. So basically, they just printed money for themselves. Pretty gross behavior. Pretty gross behavior. Anyway, I'll go into that story in more depth one of these days. And actually, one of these days, I probably should make a bigger stink about it. Maybe if I ever do become a major streamer and I have a bigger platform, I can actually get some revenge on Blizzard by embarrassing them. But yeah, one can hope. But I'm not vindictive. I'm trying to be a good Christian. So peace be upon all of you. I'll see you all again soon. Love you. Have a good day.